Double morning, laddies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If Zuko Was Kevin 11 from Ben 10. So, yeah, in this What If, or Kevin 11 that I'm referring to, well, not him. So, but he is depressed version. So, when he was born, with his sister too. So, yeah, they both grew up together. And at age of 4, they went to a doctor's, and the doctor said to them that first he looks at Zumi and he says, "You have fire manipulation quirk." Or Zumi, as she's yaying. But when he looks at Zuko and the quirk assessment thing, like the test, said he was quirkless. So he says, "Sorry, Zuko, you are quirkless." So Zuko was at first was shocked, but he does, like, when he gets abandoned by his folks. Oh, and he ends up isolated from the rest of the, like, no one could talk to him, or if they try to talk to him, he ends up ignoring them. So yeah. But one day, when he age of 13, he like went over and he noticed something like the electricity thing, like a power line, or that big battery looking thing that's on the side of a power line, was gonna overheat because it's gonna be overcharged. So Zuko, who he doesn't like truly care, like he went like this. No, it's only the pro heroes. But as he thinks, as he puts his hand on a tree or on that power line, and then all that extra energy from it went into his own body. Like, it sent shockwave through his entire arm, but it didn't like affect him. Like, he he was like, what the heck? Sorry. So, yeah. As one of the pro heroes shows up, or, as the citizens tell him it was him that started it, as, let's say it was, as, let's say it was, as a creature, or no, say it was a pro hero that looks like Endeavor. So Endeavor walks over and tells him that don't use your quirk. As Zuko looks at him weirdly like, huh? I'm quirkless. As Endeavor's like, wait, what? You did, like... As everyone's like, wait. As he tries something. As he says, that's not supposed to, like... It's... So, he ends up... Like, he was the innocent one. So Endeavor's like, okay, so you were touching and you don't get harmed by it. Well, as he says, well, my doctors told me that I don't have a quirk, so... As Endeavor is completely confused, like, wait. So, yeah. But one day, or actually, he was wearing no sleeves one. It's a time skip. So, from that. So, yeah, now he's in a 15. Going to UA. Enter exam. As yeah, so he was wearing like what Kevin 11 was wearing. So yeah, he basically ends up getting like too crowded. Then his power activated. Like, literally. As he literally, like, walks and he doesn't stumble, as he says, as he walks away, or he walks towards UA, and yeah, so they don't know that Zuko has this special power. So Zuko was like, okay. So when he wrote down every word, every sentence perfectly, like right on as he literally had to like fold his arms in so that it was, so they're like, dude, are you doing okay? Yeah, I'm just fine. I don't want to feel like smacking into people with my elbows. As he says, okay, as he used, so he got class 1B stats. So, after it. So, but his sister Zumi got class 1A. So, or actually, scratch that about it. So he got the class 1A too, so that's what it is. So, yeah. So Zuko threw the ball. Oh. And the students, Odins, like Bakugo, and human Pikachu are like laughing, like that would probably go 500 meters. As Zuko, like he didn't use his quirk, or he didn't like use his power, so he like walked away because he knows that he'll probably get last. But Mr. Aizawa looks at his like device and it said error, 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 unnatural ability, error, error. It was infinity. As that shocks everyone. So, as now I'm skipping the rest, so to the USJ. So, yeah, he basically, when he got on the bus, the redhead accidentally elbowed Zuko. Side, and that triggered as Zuko's arm got hardening. Like, that's weird. And everyone saw like what he can do. As he calms himself down as, or his reaction, as he tells Redhead that don't do that again. So they arrive as is it so yeah, when he when they came out of a portal and they okay, as they got warped, and Zuko, when he didn't have a shirt on, he ends up because when he made contact with the warp gate guy, he ends up or his other side of his arm transformed into a warp guy. So he basically gained a hardening quirk and the warp quirk. So they're or Frog Girl and that grapefruit character, I forget his name. Him says, "So, do you have a copy quirk or something?" No, I don't know what I am. As he also copied the memories of Redhead and that warp guys. So yeah, so Zuko, who says one way to get us out is as he warps both of them, or all three of them, to the front door, means they arrested them. As Zuko, who used his hardening quirk to hardening his body so that the Nomu can't penetrate it. As Mr. Aizawa says to him, "Why ain't you have the warp gate abilities?" I don't know, but hey, it's my only goal is to make sure that you don't die here, okay? As he literally warps Nomu's brain out of existence. He literally cuts the part of the brain part, his neck, out of existence. So that Nomu died, and Shiraki-sens gets angry. And before he even attacks, Zuko warps him back a few meters, and then Zuko picks up Mr. Aizawa's body and warps to the where they all started on the front. As he teleported everybody to safety. As he when he and Todoroki, he got he got ice and fire. Like, he still has those abilities. He still keeps them around. So, yeah, he basically, when he hunched his entire classmates, including Mr. Aizawa, him 13, his body changed into much more monsterish. As he starts warping and he starts attacking the villains one by one, two by two, three by threes ones. And he literally said the rest of them and all that stuff. And did I forget to mention Toga was in the Class 1A. So he's basically, when he came out, just when the pro hero shows up, as they see Zuko's monstrous form, and they thought he was a villain. Like, you villain, get away from me. As All Might tries to punch him, but it did nothing. As he stops All Might's attack, as he looks at him, and as he sat down instead of attacking back or fighting back. As he wrote, when he used his fire side, he literally wrote, "I am Zuko." As his other arms points to him. As All Might says, "What happened to you?" As they went to the recovery girl clinic to see if they could get some blood samples things. As he's trying to keep in his rage, so they did that experiment thing. They abstract his DNA, and they were shocked. Zuko had whether Kevin Levin had that in his DNA or mutation. As All Might couldn't believe that this kid that doesn't have a quirk, but he has a mutation. As he looks at him as he says, "Be honest, Doc. Uh, I am not fond of tree things." As the doctor says this, Zuko, "Ooh, you have a mutation. You were born mutation with a mutation that allows you to copy or like copies powers and add them to your own." Um, so do you remember anything? As he, well, I do remember my parents abandoned me because I was quirkless. And then when at age of 13, the power line generator was ready to explode. But when I put my hand on it, it seems like the extra energy that was building up to critical actually cooled down, and that's all I remember. From before this little incident happened. As they're like, as the detective's like, interesting. So basically, you were born with it, eh? But you used your power to save thousands of lives. As Endeavor walks in and sees this abomination, as he says, "Let's kill it with fire." As All Might and the rest said, "No, that's Zuko." As, Zuko. Huh. As he looks at him, as Endeavor says, "Ah, Zuko. How gladly to see you, Bawe, again." It has been 2 years since I saw ya. As he says, as this, well, yeah, it has been 2 years, but as you try to, you thought I was a villain. As Endeavor says, "Yeah, sorry about that, dude. I thought you were blowing it up, but you ended up doing the opposite instead of blowing it up. You actually absorbed all that extra energy into your body." As, yeah, so he was a freakazoid thing. So, yeah, he can do. So now, the sports festival. Yeah, so he does walk really fast. So he used his own, he learned his own powers, what they could do. So Tenya has speed with Todoroki's flames, as as he ran so fast, like a it's like him warping. Warping. So some of them are like pretty startled of Zuko's transformation thing, but they aim. But Toga was the opposite, as of course, she says, well, Zuko was there to help us getting out of that pickle thing. But in return, he accidentally absorbed our powers, or copied our powers. You're right, Toga. Maybe he looks dangerous on the outside, but inside he's cuddly. Yeah. As Toga does. So between her and the Class 1B student, Unin, the one that's on the very bottom with Rinko Yang. So she ends up hearing about that, and she does now care about him. So, yeah. But now we go over to the villains, as All for One says, looks like someone has, or it's been a long time since I've seen a mutant gene or gene inside of a person's body. As the doctor, where is he? I just had him a minute ago. Where? So he says, yes, Zuko does have a mutant power or mutant gene in him. He can take powers or like copy powers. Or, yeah, to his own body and stores them. Kind of like what you do, All for One. But he can change into different or use different quirks at will. But that video of him destroying the villains with his power and absorbing their powers and memories, looks awesome. All for One has more interest in Zuko than anyone. So he, over the last couple days, he's been locked so that he doesn't use his go berserk. So yeah, he basically starts training his powers. Or from left to right. So, as he says, no one's near me, so as Zuko was the force of nature, as Yeah, so Zuko, who calms down, like he's trying to put his own memories back into his own head. As when he calmed down a lot, like he concentrate on depowering himself as he transforms back into a human. He still has those powers, but he doesn't need to worry about him transforming into a monster. As Zuko was, of course, when Nezu showed up to like talk to Zuko in his monster form, he got a little bit shocked. As he looks at Zuko as he says, or this, well, Zuko, you're really trying to practice your powers. You can't be controlled by anyone. As they agreed that Zuko is too dangerous to go into UA. So, what they have decided, so that they don't put any more people in danger, they end up banning him from school. As he says, please understand that you are too reckless to be in UA, okay? As he says, I understand. As he goes away, as the entire class was wondering where is Zuko at, as the teacher told them that he is now banned from school because how powerful. So they're like, okay, that's okay. As Ochako was having her like feelings with Bakugo, but Zuko was, so he ends up going into a forest and like as he absorbs like 20 deer by just even touching them. And they're not dead, by the way. And they touch, or he touched a polar bear, or no, a bear, and like he was kind of losing his insanity, as it was pretty painful for him to trying to figure out his own self. As Zuko went on a zorbing spree, he as he could sense there's 3 Nomus, as he says, more food, or more power. So, yeah. So he ends up, like, killing all 3 before they even caused havoc. Zorbing them one by one. And killing them. As now he's absolutely lost his own self. like his memories are all jumbled up with these so many other memories. Like he even has memories of Mr. Aizawa. And he does go in and he like grabs Hero Killer Stain and absorbs, like copies his blood thing. As he says, you're pretty weak-minded, aren't you? Hero Killer Stain. We both have what we want. I wanted to become a #1 hero. But, a true hero. But as a monster-ish hero is not a good thing to being a pro hero. As Hero Killer Stain is like freaking out. Like, oh, don't worry, I won't hurt you. As Tenya, Ida, and Native says, please stop. As he turns around and he says, that's the easy part. But I am going to turn him over to authorities first. Because my job here is done. As he grabs him and like puts him at the police station, picks up like Native and Tenya, put them in the hospital as he told Tenya that he's slowly losing his, or I'll do that, and voice. So I'm slowly losing my insanity. Tenya Ida. I have so many thoughts going in through my head that even when I grabbed you and put you in at the USJ. Sorry, I'm there we go. So he basically, Tenya says, hey, let us help you. As Zuko starts laughing maniacally, as he leaves before, as well then, as Zuko is slowly losing his insanity, like he's trying not to like be in that situation. As All Might shows up with a detective and the chief of police, or actually chief of police, and so they asked Tenya what happened that day or that night. As Zuko, or as Tenya says, well, I tried to get some revenge on for my brother's mother because, and then Zuko, or oh, sorry, but so he says that Zuko stepped in and he he told him that I'll put you behind bars, as that was basically it, and he teleported away. And then when he came back for us, he and I, or he talked to me about the he's slowly losing his insanity, going into madness. As as they as detective says thank you, and but the Zuko will he's unstable for being for like absorbing all the memories, or he copied all of your guys' memories. So he basically imagine if you had to have Kevin 11's powers and you saved your classmates. That would have been like all of these would be like your classmates, and you would be like Zuko Midoriya. As plus he also absorbed that Nomu, or like copied that Nomu's and those. As he's basically he's sat down in the forest away from. So yeah, Zuko, they can't do anything at the border or like forest area. So so they he starts losing his insanity again as Mr. Aizawa told the entire class that you're let's send some students. Well, that would be risky, don't you think? Well, it would be just send one that understands craziness. As Mr. Aizawa walks up to or to Toga, as Toga at first was like, okay, am I in trouble or something? No, I want you to talk to Zuko, because you can't understand his insanity, because you're crazy too. Ah, Okay. So, yeah. So then they went, and so she goes, uh, and she sees in the cave, or she sees the cave. She goes in, and she sees Izuku laying down on the floor with he's transforming into like multiple people all at once, and he's trying to. So yeah, and so Toga walks up slowly. As he gets up, and looks at Toga. Himigo Toga, huh? Why are you? As she says, well, because or mentally unstable, like unstable. So we trying to be reasonable with you, okay? Don't find no your body's breaking down. As he as Toga was being like assigned or like those people. So she sat down and she tells him um that he needs to go back to the hospital thing as he sees a snake as he went and grabbed it and absorbed its power, a poison. So he doesn't like as Toga says this to her. Well, I know that you are trying to resist to go into your insanity. But please, let us help you. Oh. As he says, okay. As because he's your bunch of bats at the time, too. So then when he got back to the hospital, he strapped him in to see if they could like erase some of those personalities. But let me remind you, his like copying ability, once a person gets copied, like hit the power, it's and their memories are permanently inside of Zuku's head. So yeah. But he does share some, like, when he transformed into, like, as Toga was holding his hand, and yeah, and she actually told him that you don't have to be alone for being crazy. Okay? I'm always here for you. As Toga promises that. As he starts tearing up. As he cracks a smile. As a brain thing starts turns. As he starts like kind. So then when it's done, Zuko wasn't himself. He was all. But he didn't like attack anybody. He looks at his hand as they asked Zuko, "Are you still in there?" No. As all says, no, he is not in here anymore. The Zuko that you used to know doesn't exist anymore. And now you have to deal with all. Oh. As pro heroes try to stop him from escaping, as they even students try to stop him from escaping, as they couldn't believe that what they just done to have Zuko turned into a literal monster that has everyone's memories. As Zuko was inside his own head. And as he knew where All for One was, so he slams him as he says, "Knock, knock, All for One." As All for One like puts on his like mask thing, and he was prepared. So he says, "Ah, Zuko. Huh. I am the only one that's remaining. Is all. So now, every time that you, or every person that I absorbed, like those 4 Nomus, and Shiraki, or Kirigiri, and rest, they all had you in their brain. And they even told me that you were the most dangerous creature. So, wait for part 2.